Welcome to this edition of Research Connection. Joining me today is Dr. Amy DiDomenico. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Like you said, I'm Amy DiDomenico. I'm a third-year ClinPath resident here at NC State. I did my undergrad at UNC Chapel Hill and my vet school here. Graduated in 2016, and then I did a one-year small animal rotating internship at a local private practice. And now I'm lucky to be back doing ClinPath, which is what I love. I'm actually an Antech sponsored resident, so Antech, I got this position through Antech, and then I will work for them after I graduate. So my research was funded through Antech.
And you recently got an award for that research, correct?
I did. I did at our annual pathology conference this year. So the research is involving hematology, which is why we're in the hematology section of the ClinPath
live
lab
here
today. Yeah, you'll hear the phones going off and everything, machines beeping. But so the research that I did was in hematology, specifically looking at reticulocyte counts. So anytime you have a patient that's anemic, you want to know what their reticulocyte count is so that you can tell if they're regenerating or not. And so Antech has this really cool piece of machinery called the cellavision. And it's not to replace something like the ADVIA, but it's like in conjunction with the ADVIA. So after you run your blood through the ADVIA, you get a printout that tells you all of your red blood cell indices, white blood cell differential platelets. And then here at NC State, we have technicians that manually make blood smears and then do a manual differential on every case, which is really time consuming, and it works for us here, but it doesn't work at like a super high volume lab. So Antech has this machine called cellavision, which basically uses a really awesome digital camera to scan the blood smear, and then it takes pictures of it and shows it to you. So instead of having to look at a microscope, you can look at all the pictures on a computer, and you can even send those pictures like to a pathologist, or you could get a second opinion, or you could send it to like a trained technician at another location. Like they don't have to physically be there to look at it. So my research was looking at if we could use that machine to count reticulocytes in dogs. Because although the ADVIA does a really good job of counting reticulocytes, sometimes it makes mistakes and doesn't do it perfectly, so we need to do it manually.
And so what did you find?
We found that you could, so in order to look at reticulocytes, you have to stain the blood with a new methylene blue smear. And so we didn't know if the cellavision would be able to detect the cells with that smear because it's very thin, it's very pale compared to a normal blood smear. So first of all, we wanted to know if the cellavision was even going to be able to scan a smear like that, and it could. And so then what I did was I compared reticulocyte counts on the ADVIA versus my manual count on a microscope, and then a manual count from the computer, like from the scanned picture of the slide. And we found that there was really good correlation between all of those, and that the cellavision and the manual count on the microscope both underestimated the reticulocyte count from the ADVIA, which is not super surprising because the ADVIA will count like 40,000 cells, and the cellavision or someone on a microscope only counts like 1,000. But there was really good correlation between them, so if your ADVIA doesn't work, you can use the cellavision. So that's the main finding.
And the award was through the ASVCP.
Yeah, specifically the ASVCP, so the Society for Veterinary Clinical Pathology.
Yeah.
But at that big conference, we conferenced together. So,
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It was really exciting.
What's next in your residency?
Next in my residency is just finishing up a couple case reports that I've got, and a little bit of work on canine abdominal fluid, specifically trying to diagnose septic peritonitis in dogs, and then just studying for boards and trying to pass.
But no need to job hunt.
No, exactly. No need for a job hunt, which is really nice.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And best of luck.
Thank you.